Revelations chapter 13, verse 16, quote, "All people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, were forced to have a mark. Without the mark of the beast, it was impossible to buy or sell anything." Now, some might take this Bible verse to be a prophetic warning about digital ID. As it so happens, digital ID is about to be rolled out around the world, and it's more evil than anyone could have imagined, except perhaps the author of Revelations, that is.
And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish.
Man. All right, let's move into some. So yesterday we was talking about the creator of Cash App.
Oh,
he just got stabbed in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, that is crazy.
And then the next day, the U.S. Federal Reserve banking system is launching its own Cash App called FedNow.
They got
that at the bank, real fast. In July, this is a movement towards getting rid of physical money and having digital currency.
That's crazy. They did announce it the next
day.
It's almost like it was meant to be.
Right.
Got him.
Yeah, like
Got him out the way, man.
they didn't waste no time. They didn't give a fuck either.
We know what
No.
concert he woke up at.
That's the feds. They like, what you gonna do, nigga?
Jesus Christ.
They like, what you gonna do? Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
But the timing of that, like, y'all niggas is insensitive, whoever y'all are. We don't want no smoke either. Yeah, I'm cool. Fed now, brother. Fed now.
Even the name Fed Now is mad suspect.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I wouldn't want to use nothing called
Fed
Fed now.
Now.
Nah.
No, thank you.
Nah, not no Fed now.
What if you have to?
Well, they're saying all the major banks are going to have it, and you're going to basically have to use that shit. So they already know what the fuck you buying anyway, but now, yeah, because remember they said that they was going to do Cash App, you was going to have to report like every $600 and shit.
And they changed that shit.
And then they changed it. They said it's going to be in like 2 years or something.
No.
Nah, the motherfucker said, we need it now.
We need it now.
It's our money and we need it now.
It's our money and we need it now.
Go catch Cuz on his morning jog.
That's crazy though, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
No respect.
No respect, bro.
Then all them crypto niggas, they done got mysteriously, you know what I'm saying, killed and shit.
Yeah,
It's a dirty game out here, man.
Digital money.
So for those of you who've been under a rock, boatloads of banks have been failing left and right over the last few weeks. Way before Silicon Valley Bank went under, there were smaller banks failing all over the place. Now there's many different reasons for these bank failures, but what nobody's paying attention to is the actual rollout of what's called the FedNow app and its relationship to those bank failures. You see, most of these banks that are failing at this particular point in time have been working with developing their own digital currencies, just like the federal government. So for those of you who don't know what the FedNow app is, don't worry. As usual, I got you. Come on. So FedNow is a new real-time payment system that was developed by the Federal Reserve of the United States. The whole purpose of this new system is to take over facilitating payments between individuals, businesses, and other entities. No more Venmo, no more Cash App, no more Zelle, no more them not knowing what you're doing. The federal government will actually have direct access to not your bank account, but every single transaction that you process. And they're going to be deploying this system to allow third-party vendors access to collecting these payments on behalf of the Federal Reserve. Now, the government is trying to pitch this thing as a more secure, more
Page from Venmo or Zelle. Here's the Federal Reserve is now getting ready to roll out its own instant payment service called FedNow, which would be available to every bank and credit union in the country, allowing them to offer real-time payments 24/7. It's also designed, for example, to speed up how quickly an employer's bank would be able to send payroll direct deposits to an employee's bank account. The service is expected to start up then in July.
Today, withdrawing demand deposits takes hours via FedWire or days via ACH. FedNow will be real-time, 24/7, 365, limited to 100K at first, so banks will inherently need to be less leveraged and hold more liquidity. Yeah, banks are not going to like the system at all. This bank failure, stablecoin scares, and increasing interest rates is further putting people off the US dollar. And these bank failures are a huge wake-up call for the world and a huge highlight of crypto's use case. Despite all the craziness, Bitcoin and Ether have held up well because people and countries are starting to realize the importance of a worldwide neutral financial infrastructure. The value of US dollars are constantly inflated away, becoming worth less and less every day. The government can freeze and take our US dollars anytime, and banks can collapse in a matter of hours, losing all of our funds. When we deposit US dollars into a bank, we are unknowingly giving an unsecured loan to a heavily leveraged borrower, the banks. We need to do our part by spreading awareness about how the financial system works so we can try to build a better future together.
In today's fast-paced world, time is money. More people, businesses, and organizations are demanding instant payments. That's why the Federal Reserve is developing the FedNow service, a safe and efficient instant payments infrastructure that will modernize the U.S. payment system. The FedNow service will give financial institutions the opportunity to innovate, enabling their customers to send and receive money in seconds, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Funds will settle between financial institutions in real time, which means there's no buildup of interbank complications, and end users will have access to the funds in seconds. How will the FedNow service work? Imagine the owner of a coffee shop is running low on coffee beans and needs to schedule a quick delivery. She places an order, and the coffee bean company sends her a request for payment. She responds to the request for payment and pays for the coffee beans right then and there through an app from her credit union, which uses the FedNow service. Once she initiates the payment, her credit union screens the payment and sends an ISO 20022 compliant payment message, either directly or through a service provider to the FedNow service over the Federal Reserve's FedLine network. The FedNow service instantly validates the payment message and passes it along to the coffee bean supplier's bank. In real time, the supplier's bank confirms to the FedNow service that it intends to accept the payment, and the FedNow service debits and credits the master accounts of both the shop owners and the coffee bean supplier's financial institutions or the master accounts of their correspondents. The FedNow service also immediately sends a payment message with an advice of credit to the supplier's bank and notifies the shop owner's credit union that settlement is complete. Finally, the supplier's bank credits the supplier's account in near real time, making the funds available. The supplier's bank will have the option of sending a confirmation to the shop owner's credit union that the payment has been posted to the supplier's account, providing the coffee shop owner with certainty that the payment was received. The FedNow service will be designed to be flexible and support a broad range of potential use cases. Banks, credit unions, and other industry providers can use it as a springboard for innovation to support a range of applications such as account-to-account transfers and bill pay. For example, now imagine it's after hours and the shop owner gets a reminder that her car insurance bill is due today. She may be able to avoid a late fee by initiating a bill payment in her credit union app and selecting to pay it now. Later, she repays a friend for a pizza they shared using an app provided by her credit union that clears and settles through the FedNow service. With this service, banks and credit unions can remain competitive by offering the type of payment options customers increasingly expect in today's fast-paced world. The FedNow service will support flexible adoption, allowing financial institutions the option to work with aggregators, processors, and correspondents to adopt the service. Banks and credit unions will also have the option to adopt the full set of FedNow capabilities or sign on as a receive-only participant. The initial launch of the FedNow service will focus on core clearing and settlement capabilities. Additional features will be released in phases to meet evolving industry demands and changes in technology. Get ready for the FedNow service. Learn more at fednow.org.
The whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips.
Now I know that. Does Carrie still have the RFID tag in her arm?
Dude, the RFID thing.
Yeah. Why did you not?
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
It's not going to happen.
Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. Quote, all people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, were forced to have a mark. Without the mark of the beast, it was impossible to buy or sell anything. Now, some might take this Bible verse to be a prophetic warning about digital ID. As it so happens, digital ID is about to be rolled out around the world, and it's more evil than anyone could have imagined, except perhaps the author of Revelations, that is.